Welcome back to my channel. Pour yourself some coffee and let's get started. I have had a very crazy week. Not too crazy, but I think to some people it could be stressful with as many plumbing issues that we have. And the apartment complex is really a nice apartment complex. It's just got some plumbing issues, and Bear and I just take it in stride, and we just look at each other and say, one, we're not leaving, and two, we're not paying for those plumbing issues. So we've been homeowners. We've been homeowners for 12 years, and we're done. We love apartment life. It could be a pain to some people, but not for us. And even the noisy neighbors upstairs who they like to herd their goats around their apartment while wearing clogs doesn't really bother us. It really doesn't. This first little lunch is it's kind of a one of those meals, especially in the summer, that you make around 3:30 or 4. You didn't have lunch because you had a really big breakfast, or you just got busy with things. And it's just so funny how in the summer your hours just kind of run into each other. And before you know it, you're hungry. And I think for dinner that night, we just had some muffins. It's just a very light pasta meal, the pappardelle pasta. Now, this is not a trick that anybody taught me. It's just something that makes sense. I don't know why anybody's pressing, rock hard garlic cloves. I like to soften the garlic and then pull it out and then run it through that press. And added some nutritional yeast for extra nutrition. I mean, it just says it all on the package. So just a lightly seasoned pasta for lunch. We took care of the little guy, our grandson, so his parents could get a break because he was sick. Yeah, he was sick for a couple of days. The next morning, we had those blueberry muffins that I made in the last video. We froze a lot of the muffins and then gave some to my daughter and her husband. And these blueberry muffins are really delicious. They're not sweet. I'm learning that, in fact, I really don't miss the sweetness. I've never liked lots of sweets anyway. I'm more of a potato chip girl. And I do not buy potato chips anymore. I'll buy some corn chips, which are less than calories, with some, I try to make really nutritious dips like salsa, guacamole. One of my new to me lunch recipes are these rice bowls, and I prefer a grain bowl over a salad bowl any day. I'm not being stubborn. I truly cannot handle lettuce, just not lettuce, not even iceberg, romaine. I just can't do it. I even have a little difficulty with arugula, but I can handle spinach and kale. So these little rice or grain bowls, because I have some quinoa as well, are really good, and they keep me full until dinner time. They're packed with some healthy items. I don't overdo it. I've seen Pinterest, and they've got cucumbers and tomatoes and red onions and feta cheese. I keep it very simple. I make some turmeric basmati rice, and I air fry some sweet potatoes and chickpeas. Make sure you do not air fry them together at the exact same time. Space that. I learned that the chickpeas are going to need to cook a little longer than the sweet potatoes if you're going to use the air fryer. For some reason, they cook perfectly at the same time in the oven. And then you always want to have some kind of nutritious and delicious dressing. And I am making this herby dressing, and it's packed with fresh dill, parsley, cilantro, tarragon. The tarragon was dry. I cannot find fresh tarragon here in Amarillo. Garlic, salt and pepper, and a third cup mayo, and a third cup of Greek yogurt. And now I'm off to my walk. Now, this was my first day, and I'm trying to walk every single day or do an activity that raises my heart rate. That really strengthens your lungs to get to that point where because I'm out of breath all the time. And I also suffer from asthma. So walking is really going to strengthen my body, my mind, and my lungs. So I would highly recommend that when you are making some protein muffins or what they call breakfast cookies or granola, you please use a recipe, because I winged it. With, my 40-year experience, I figure, how difficult can it be? But I made one mistake, and it's funny because oats kind of acts like powdered sugar. If you put too much liquid in it, you've got a mess. And you're going to have to keep adding oats to make it thicker and a little denser. And then I went too dense. So this 2 cups of almond milk was way too much. I should have just used 1 cup or just relied on the most moisture of the bananas and the peanut butter, because in reality, I didn't need to use any of that milk whatsoever. And in most granola recipes or oat bars, the energy bars that you can look up, energy balls, they don't have a liquid. They just use honey, peanut butter, maple syrup, but, some kind of soft fruit or sweet potatoes. And I should have figured that out, because it just would not thicken up. It was so soupy that I had to add some whole wheat flour. But let me tell you what happened. I ended up adding eggs to this. And I realized, okay, I think I'm making some kind of, it's going to be edible. It's got all good nutritious stuff in it. How am I going to eat this? It can't be raw because I end up adding eggs to it. I'm going to bake it. And so I did bake it for just a little bit. Doesn't need that much time. I think maybe 20 minutes. And I decided that I was going to make muffins, some kind of dense energy muffins. And you can't go backwards. I couldn't take that moisture out. And the peanut butter just kind of made it worse. So I just went with it, this just making a mess. But this is the recipe, and I'm going to tell you what happened. Thank goodness I filmed it, because what happened is I baked it at 350 for 20 minutes. I pulled it out of the oven. We waited for it to cool, and I am not kidding you. I swear to you, this tastes like a Kind bar. And the only difference is it's got bananas. Now, Kind bars do have a banana, but not this combo. This is banana, peanut butter, and chocolate chips. I mean, it's packed with potassium and fiber and iron and lots of protein. Because I put a cup of my protein powder. So this is just like a supercharged energy muffin. These are perfect in the evening. I have had one. You really only need one, by the way. Just like a Kind bar. It's really dense. But I would say it's softer. Way softer than a Kind bar. A Kind bar there's a crunch to it. There's a thick bite to it. These are very soft and they reheat pretty well. And I like having them with some coffee. I need to get a rack. I don't have a rack.
A baker's rack?
A baker's rack.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't these cool?
They are. They look awesome, Mom. These look gorgeous.
These are my breakfast muffins. They are full. They are the most nutritious things on the planet right now.
Trunk, I have another one.
You want another one?
Oh, can you put my eggs in the fridge for me, please?
Yes. Hello, I'm gonna break it in half. You're gonna get half.
Okay.
Can you see me? And don't you touch anything.
I can see you.
Okay. Like rocks, but healthy rocks.
Thank you.
There you go.
I love you. It was very good.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a sweet woman.
So you can have them for breakfast, or if you want a little sweet treat in the evening. I'm telling you, you eat one and you won't want to eat for another 8 hours. They are that dense, but they taste great. I'm telling you that this particular bar reminded me of a Kind bar. These are just as dense and flavorful as a Kind bar. Really and truly. If you've had a Kind bar, that's what these they're softer than a Kind bar. So they're not gonna hurt my teeth. But they have the same sweetness, which is very minimal. Freezer, fridge. What?
Hi, Sophie. I'm opening the curtains for you.
I think we're gonna get some rain. Excuse you.
What? I didn't hear you.
I think we're gonna get some rain.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, I think I drank some water, but I think we're gonna have a storm. My head is killing me. Oh yeah. Coffee's good. I absolutely love having these pizza doughs that I partially baked in the freezer. And I think I made a total of 6. I think the recipe would have made 2 large, and I ended up stretching out the dough and made 6 individual pizza pies. You know, when the kids were growing up, I did this, but I used biscuit dough. You know, that old recipe. I also did Bisquick with my kids. And then on the weekends, then I would take out my KitchenAid, because back then I had a KitchenAid, and that my brother gave me. And then when we moved here, I gave it back to him. So I had that KitchenAid for a good 6 years, and I would make homemade pizza dough. I liked Wolfgang Puck's recipe. It was just amazing in the KitchenAid, and I would make, on those family pizza nights, I think we would make 4 big, large pizza pies, because, you know, there were some of us that wanted the Supremes, and some of us wanted meat lovers. Basically, I was a Pizza Hut, but with Wolfgang Puck's crust recipe. Do you remember those nights? And then, yes, I even learned how to make a deep dish. Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, but when it came to individual sized pizzas, I never did this. I would just do Bisquick and then make little pies for the kids, or actual biscuits, the Pillsbury biscuits. And then we would take two little biscuit doughs to make an individual pizza, and then the kids got to put their toppings on. And that was something that they did when they were little, like elementary school age. They loved that, and they would put stuff on their pizzas, and they just, that was a party thing. And that's something we kids did in the 80s, the 70s and the 80s. I learned how to make a pizza for the first time using Bisquick. So I've come a long way. I won't share this recipe because Bear and I love them, don't get me wrong, but it isn't the Wolfgang Puck's recipe. And so I'm going to go back to that and see how to do that in the bread maker, because I usually let my bread machine do all the work, and then I pull it out after the dough cycle, and I form the pizza crust, and then I pre-bake it. So I'm gonna find that recipe. I'm pretty sure you can find it on the Food Network. That's where I originally found it, was on the Food Network website. And we actually had one of his pizzas when we went to Chicago a couple years ago, when my son graduated from basic training. He was in the Navy, and the Navy trained in Chicago, and we had a deep dish pizza from where, baby? Well, now, yeah, Wolfgang Puck's pizza was at the airport, but okay, and but we did end up going to an actual restaurant with my ex-husband and his wife, and got pizza, and got a deep dish, and it was so amazing. Oh, it was so good. So, anyway, yeah, Bear and I love these. We love that. And coincidentally, we had this on a Friday night. Friday night has always been a wonderful pizza night, right? And this is great. We didn't have to order it. The last time we ordered Pizza Hut, I felt really, I don't know if it was psychological, but I didn't feel good. And it just didn't hit right. These homemade pizzas are just so tasty. Yeah, because see, if you notice, in order to pre-bake the dough, you don't want to bake it all the way through. So I do half the time, and you don't want it to puff up, because it will puff up like a tortilla. It'll, how when you leave a tortilla on the comal, it'll start puffing up. It collects air somewhere. So to keep the dough from rising in the oven, I guess that's what it's doing. It's rising with the heat. I put a layer of my spaghetti sauce. And so it was some leftover pesto that I had in a jar, and I mixed it with a can of tomato sauce. That's it. That's my pizza sauce. And I just put it on all 6 of the little pies to keep them from rising when I partially baked them, and it came out perfect. And then, of course, I top with extra garlic. There's a restaurant in Corpus Christi called BJ's Pizza, and they have always put garlic as a topping. Ever since I had that, I love it. Bear got me a catalog for Azure Standard. Azure. He just handed them to me right now while I'm editing. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go through it. Okay. Thank you, baby. You wouldn't have done that unless you did some research. Is this a good product?
I don't know. It's the store one of your people that you follow uses.
Yeah, Christine's notebook uses Azure, and so I was curious about it. But Bear watches the videos with me, so I got these 4 catalogs. Take a look at them. This is going to be interesting. Anyway, that's my lovely pizza. And you could just put anything on top of it. You could do buffalo chicken. You could do taco. And then, of course, I like to believe I burned off anything I ate from walking. I don't know if that's true or not. My son says, well, you burned off a couple of calories, Mom. But I don't think you burned off the entire meal. But it's a good motivator. Yeah, I like to think that. One of my favorite South Texas taquitos or breakfast tacos. And that's what we call them in South Texas. We do not call them burritos and we don't call them tacos. But anyway, would be carne guisada or bean and cheese or chorizo and egg or guacamole. A guacamole taco is amazing. And I mean, I do love barbacoa, by the way. But those three are my favorite breakfast tacos. But a plain avocado taco or guacamole taco is amazing. So whenever you have barbecues and there's leftover guacamole, I'll heat up a little tortilla. This is not a little one though, but it's the only organic one, which is burrito-sized tortilla. And yes, I'm going to be making my own tortillas very soon. And then I just keep it simple. I mean, I just love plain avocado, salt, and pepper. And but in South Texas, you can get guacamole, and it's got the pico de gallo, the avocado. Oh, it's so delicious on a hot tortilla. And a lot of you are you're big fans of avocado toast, and I'm telling you, don't fall asleep on avocado tortillas. Well, if that's how you want to refer to it. And that's my homemade salsa. So delicious breakfast. Amazing. Now on this day, my grandbaby girls are coming over, and so I decided to go ahead and put a pot of spaghetti on. And it was a big batch of spaghetti sauce, so I gave 2 of those deli tubs to my other daughter, for her and her husband to enjoy. And this one's going to be for me, Bear, and my granddaughter. She's 2 years old, and she just loves my spaghetti. My spaghetti recipe is never the same, but it is completely different from what I raised my kids with. Because even though I would do this prep right here, I would add veggies, I would add onions and garlic and all the seasonings, Italian seasoning and rosemary and thyme and sometimes fresh parsley. I would add whatever veggies I could hide in there, especially if I was making my version of puttanesca. One thing that I would do is add ragu. I love ragu. I really do. And they apparently make an organic ragu. I don't know. I'm not going to try it. I'm just going to stick to homemade spaghetti sauce. I did a can of tomato sauce and a little carton of crushed tomatoes. And I didn't miss the ragu. Now, I did forget, and I had plenty of it in my cabinet, and I even had a freezer bag in the freezer of tomato paste. Otherwise, it's going to be a very thin sauce. But we were hungry, and we were bogged down with 2 little girls that needed us. And so I just wasn't, I guess I forgot. I didn't even think to add the tomato paste until I had already served myself. And then I was eating it, and I thought, this is delicious, but it's a little runny. And then I realized, oh, damn. That tomato paste really helps thicken up. And you can't do it at the last minute. Not if you have IBS or reflux or any stomach issues. You've got to put that tomato paste in at least, if you're doing a crock pot method, you got to have to put it in an hour before you're ready to serve. And I completely forgot. And now I'm going to do what all wonderful grandmas do. I'm going to make homemade chocolate chip cookies. And these cookies are going to be the size of my granddaughter's head. We bought a giant bag of Toll House chocolate chips at Sam's Club. And this is a great item to have in your pantry or your freezer for those times you have your grandbabies come over. You can make all kinds of things with it. Granola, energy bars. Not that little children need extra energy, but chocolate chips goes a long way. It even goes great with yogurt. I'm following the recipe on the back of the package, the Toll House chocolate chip cookie package. I am making a couple of adjustments. Instead of using white sugar, I'm using sugar in the raw. That's about the only change I made. And this is one of my vintage sussies. Bear got this for me a couple months ago. We just have not put it on the wall. And he keeps asking, where do you want this? I mean, we have a tiny apartment, and I really want it next to the other vintage appliances. So we're going to probably put it on that wall. So isn't it a beauty? And this is mid-century modern. Has a little door where you put the whisks in. What do you call those little pieces, baby? The beaters. And that's where I want it. Yeah, I thought, this is perfect space. And I'm not going to have my cutting boards there anyway. Eventually, my cutting boards I want on the inside of a door. And so I'll have all my little vintage pieces there. I'm missing a toaster, though. I need a vintage toaster and I need a vintage can opener. But I don't buy things just to have them. They're replacing items that I gave away and didn't bring from Corpus Christi. So the toaster, there's really nothing wrong with it. It does toast really well. So I'm going to keep it. But what I will be getting is a vintage toaster cover. And yes, there is a Spice of Life toaster cover, and I will be getting that. So anyway, the instructions have two parts: the dry and the wet. Do the wet first. I always do the wet first, and then I do separate bowls. I don't like doing things in separate bowls, but for this recipe, I didn't want to mess it up, and I did it in separate bowls. I want to do another batch one day using honey instead of raw sugar, and I want to use coconut oil instead of my plant-based butter. I made, six large cookies, and then the rest of the dough, because I didn't make all of the dough. I didn't cook it all. I put it in a Ziploc bag and I gave it to my daughter. She can use it for my grandson's birthday party. So I have two girls. I have three daughters, but two of them have already started making us grandbabies. Like they made them just for us. But so one has the boy and one has the two girls. And my grandson's birthday is today. And so not on the day that I'm filming, the day that I'm editing. So gave her the big batch of cookie dough, and if she wants to make them for the birthday party, she can, or she could just keep them in her refrigerator and like the cookie dough you get from the store, except that remember they have a lot of preservatives so that you can keep them in the fridge for a long time. So what I would suggest you do is make little balls and flash freeze them on a cookie sheet, and then once they're completely frozen, put all the little dough balls in a Ziploc bag. And then whenever you want to make cookies, you can pull out one or two or whatever. So I just loved making these cookies. I wasn't motivated to make them. I mean, I have had that bag for about a month. But when the grandbaby's coming over, she's 2 years old, I thought, I have to make her a chocolate chip cookie. And sure enough, she had that for dinner, and then she had spaghetti for dessert. Oops.
I saw that woman. Full of goose.
Can you mix it for me? I don't have any. Yep. Yes. Let's see. Mike and Katie. Hush.
Foof and Bear and you.
And then I just pat
And
them.
since Foof can't really have any yet,
There we go.
yeah, we can share that one.
She is. Okay, I'm gonna go check on the water to make the spaghetti. Whew, it's hot in this kitchen. Okay, those are ready. Needs more time. Ooh, birthday cake. Oh my god. They make the cutest things. Do you know how to sing happy birthday?
Yes.
Whose birthday is it today?
Her birthday, mommy, her birthday.
Yes. And it's Opa's birthday, remember?
Oh, remember?
Yes.
Mommy, birthday.
Yes.
Second, her birthday, mommy.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh, Bear, watch your earring. She's in a grabby phase. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's gonna go forward. I'm so nervous. Good. And this is the baby spaghetti whenever she's hungry. But she's at Granola's house, so she got a cookie first. Her and Papa got cookies for dinner. I love that my granddaughter loves my spaghetti. She absolutely loves it. And she also loves my arroz con pollo. So that's just how I show my love is with food. I know that may not be healthy, but that's just how it is. That's my love language. But I do want to, learn recipes to give them and provide them healthier options than the food that I gave my own children. But we had a great time, and Little Miss, the littlest one, got hysterical at some point and projectile vomited all over me. And so we gave her a little bath, and then she calmed down and everything was wonderful. Baby is in the bathtub.
You're in the bath sink, as it were.
This is her second bath because she's been screaming nonstop. Yes, and she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's funny.
A baby. Wash your baby.
Wash your baby. Wash your baby.
My baby. Yeah. Wash your baby.
Thank you for joining me. We've had even more interesting things happen, so the next video is going to be kind of fun and crazy. Guess what? The hot water's off. So, I'm curious what they're going to make us all do. Because this is like multiple times in a span of 2 months. And but it's a legit reason. The old copper piping has to be replaced. And they're going to do it unit by unit. There's only 4 units. And we're in the first one, so. Oh no, we're in the second one. But they're trying to figure out a way to do unit by unit without disturbing the whole complex. So I want to stick it out. It is inconvenient. We've been living on this. We just heat her up and keep it hot. In fact, I need to turn it on. Yeah, I just keep it on low and it'll get super hot. And so we're living like the, true pioneer woman times. But thank you for joining me. I'm having so much fun with the grandbabies, but my house is a wreck. My little tiny apartment is a wreck. Because, when I was raising the babies, I baby-proofed that house. Like, it looked like a daycare. And we can't really do that. I have too many collectibles. Not expensive ones, but I have, knickknacks and stuff like that. And the 2-year-old is extremely well behaved. She doesn't get into anything she's not supposed to, but we have babies that are about to turn 1 and are 1. The little ones. When they turn about 2, they'll be fine because their mamas don't play. The 2-year-old loves to play, but she won't get into anything you don't want her to get into. I don't have a giant living room for them to play in. It's just a little space. So I always take out the cushions. Thank God for this couch. It's got giant cushions that can be removed. And I build borders and I build little containment areas. And then I bring out all the things, I'll use the Chase Lounge for her blocks. I'll use the coffee table, which we push against the cabinet under the TV. We'll push that against her so they have more space. So she's got crayons and markers and musical toys and blocks and her kitchen set, which is in the dining area. I mean, the whole apartment, they get the run of. And I baby-proof it as best as I can for the actual baby. So our apartment, it was ransacked by the girls. And then we got a day of rest, but the hot water turned off. So we were like, do we want to clean this? We cleaned up the floor. That was about it. But we didn't put anything away because I have a grandkid cubby system in the hallway. Like, I'm not cleaning this. I don't feel like doing it. And plus we were so sore from carrying the babies. And then the next day, yesterday, the grandson came over. He's hilarious because his mission is to get over that fort, to get over the boundaries that I have set. That's his job. He thinks it's a challenge. Like, I'm in the army and I need to climb over this wall. But thank you for joining me. The next video is going to be really cool. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It's a seafood. I'm going to be making some of my favorite summer seafood dishes. And y'all can enjoy that and some more visits with the grandbabies. And Bear is supposed to take me to Canyon. And we're going to take a drive out there. And what else is coming up? Walks. More walks. This is great coffee. So let me serve Bear's coffee. Y'all take care. Bye.